Hello, and welcome to another episode of Kindling the Hearth Fire. It's the last day of the Brighid-Along 2020, day 9. And the aspect of Brighid, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, and one that I'm most familiar with, is the healing, or the healer aspect. And the healing aspect is also connected to the... What is the... They have the healing aspect, and then they connect it to which, moderation. Okay, that's where it is. Okay. It took me a second to find it on the website because I couldn't quite remember. We are looking at the aspect of Brighid as the healer and the virtue of moderation. The three aspects of Brighid, most commonly named poet, smith, and healer, come from Cormac's Glossary, a 10th century encyclopedia of Irish tradition, as we mentioned in day 4 of Blacksmith. Her role of healer and protector continued into Christian tradition as well, especially as a protector of animals and an aid to women. And this is from Bride, the Aid Woman by Carmina Galitica by Alexander Carmichael. We quote from him a lot, but this is another one of his. There came to me assistance, Mary fair and bride, as Anna bore Mary, as Mary bore Christ. As Elle bore John the Baptist, without flaw in him, aid thou me in mine unbearing. Aid me, O bride, as Christ was conceived of Mary, full perfect on every hand. Assist thou me, foster mother, the conception to bring from the bone. And thou didst aid the Virgin of joy, without gold, without corn, without kine. Aid thou me, great is my sickness, aid me, O bride. Seeking the power of Brighid where you need it, in a foster mother's loving arms, in the courage of the warrior, the warmth of the hearth's fire, in any combination of her ways. Brighid heals as we need to be healed. I've always thought of Brighid as a very practical goddess. And when we are whole, may we pass her blessings on to others who need them. Here's another piece of poetry. This one by Rowan Cleardawn. Mind and hands weave a blanket of healing, the broken and weak mended and strengthened. And this connects moderation with healing. Moderation in all things brings well-being in spirit, body, and mind. Healers discern where we are out of balance and judiciously use their skills to bring us back to health. And these are kind of questions that you could ask yourself while you're contemplating Brighid and her healing aspect today, and also contemplating the virtue of moderation as well. What is the state of my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health? Where am I out of balance? What can I do to facilitate my own healing? And here's a healing invocation to Brighid, the Sassafras Groves traditional. And once again, I'm not going to pronounce the Irish. Well, actually, they have a pronunciation guide for some of the Irish, so I'll do some of the Irish, but the rest of it I'm going to leave to your imagination here, rather than burning your ears. Okay, so Shulín a Bríže, walk with us, Brighid. Hail, Brighid, goddess of healing, kind lover of human life, transformer of healing forces. You who shares with us your knowledge of potions and healing herbs. You who protects us through our illness and despair. You who directs the powerful healing energies through our lives, mistress of the healing energies, balance and strengthen us. Gentle lover of human life, support our wellness and transform our despair. Brighid, goddess of healing. Suilin Abrit. And that once again is by Diana Parr et al. So probably by a group of people, including Diana Parr. I can see the connection between the healing aspect of Brighid and the moderation, because balance in all things is usually, is sometimes what causes a lot of our health problems. Sometimes it's something completely beyond our control. So, such as genetics and just bad luck. But oftentimes in our general well-being, and I'm not including disabilities and things of those kinds of natures in this, it's our general health, our day-to-day health is oftentimes a case of moderating what we're eating, moderating what we're doing, what people we're around, where we are situated, those kinds of things. Balancing all those different factors into a cohesive whole. And moderation is also included in this moderation. You should be, sometimes it's okay to indulge. And you're the one to decide when those times are okay. I'm not judging on anybody saying, oh, you shouldn't be partying as much as you are. So people's balancing, people's weights and measures are always their own to judge and their own to modify and keep an eye on 90% of the time. So that's where I'm going with that, is that sometimes it's the healer's job to come in when someone is not balanced, and sometimes they recognize that they're imbalanced and sometimes they do not. It's probably the job of the healer to, one, bring them to a place that they can recognize their own imbalance and maybe help in the process of healing, or in the case of an emergency technician, EMT, coming in there at a place where the person has lost balance, and then also lost their ability to bring themselves back into balance. And they bring them, or at least they try to bring them back into enough balance to maybe have a conversation with this person about bringing themselves back into balance, that sort of thing. Moderation in all things, including moderation. That's kind of my motto. I've read that somewhere, can't remember where exactly, but I know I've read that somewhere, and it does ring true in most cases. There are some exceptions, I will grant you, and you kind of have to look at it from a case-by-case way, because not all things are going to fit all times. So Brighid in the healing, in the healer modality, that's kind of where I've seen her most of the time. And ironically enough, I actually am in need of some healing at this point, because I just twisted my ankle last night, and so I'm like laid up a bit. And tomorrow is the Imbolc ritual, so I'll be making some offerings to her to ask for her to bring some of the healing energies into my life to maybe heal this ankle and several other things. But in her healing aspect, that's where I have the most experience with her, and she's always been, as I said before, a very practical goddess. And you've seen the video that I posted with one of my other programs. And I do believe that she would take a look at what needs to be done, and whatever it was that needed to be done, she would find a way to get it done, whether it was she herself that was doing it, or she would find the right person to do it. Whatever was needed most and whatever was available to her. And I think that goes into her case of being a healer as well. She would take a look at what was going on, find out the history maybe, and find the best solution to the situation. And that's always, that's how I see her as a goddess. That's how I've always interacted with her. That's how she is when I'm interacting with her on my altar. And that's the one I'm most familiar with. And it rings true for me that she is definitely a healer. Okay, and I'm going to quit jibber-jabbering because my voice is about to go out, if you can't tell. And I'm going to leave you with the Brighid Healer affirmation and the Brighid Healer prayer. I'll do the prayer first, which is, Brighid, your touch heals our wounds. Our pain melts away. With open arms we come to you in times of suffering. You renew us, restore us, reaching out to those in need. Brighid, Goddess of Healing, we honor you. This is by Diana Brav. And the Brighid Healer affirmation is what I'm going to leave you with today. Brighid, you are healer of body, mind, and spirit. Bless the work of my heart, head, and hands. May your deep compassion burn in my heart. May the waters of your healing well flow through my hands. May I walk in balance. Be'ashe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to listen. And may you always pray with a good fire.